On average, people spend about 90 minutes every single day overthinking, roughly 22 days a year lost in their own heads. Here's the thing nobody's told you. What you call overthinking isn't one thing. It's two, and they're not random. They're two directions of the same loop, and once you can see the shape of it, it stops feeling like a flaw in you and starts looking like a habit, which is a thing that can change. In this video, I'll show you exactly what overthinking is, how it's different from normal thinking, and one simple reset you can use the moment you notice your brain spiraling. So let me show you what overthinking actually is, both halves of it. Plainly, you lie down to sleep and your mind starts drafting tomorrow's difficult conversation in full. Or you're mid-shower and a moment from 3 years ago arrives uninvited and you're editing what you think you should have said or done. If your mind does one of those, or both, you're in exactly the right place. This is not a character defect. It's a mechanism, and mechanisms can be understood. So, plainly, overthinking is repetitive, negative thinking that keeps looping without ever reaching a decision or an answer. It is the act of excessively analysing, evaluating, or dwelling on a thought, situation, or problem. That's the key word. Repetitive. It returns to the same content again and again, feels almost impossible to switch off, and it doesn't move you forward. Psychologists Thomas Ehring and Edward Watkins gave this a name, repetitive negative thinking, and they showed something useful, that worry and rumination aren't two separate problems. They're one process pointing in two directions. Here's the two directions. Worry is the future one. It's the what if. What if I fail? What if they're angry? What if it goes wrong? It runs on things that haven't happened, and its flavour is anxiety and dread. Chronic, hard-to-control worry across your whole life is the core of what's called generalised anxiety. Rumination is the past one. It's the why. Why did I do that? What does this say about me? Why me? If only I'd handled it differently. It runs on things already done, and its flavour is guilt, shame, and low mood. Susan Nolan Huxamer, who defined this field, showed rumination is strongly tied to depression. Same loop. One points forward and calls itself worry. One points back and calls itself rumination. Both feel like you're solving something. And here's the part that matters most, because it's the difference between overthinking and actual thinking. Real problem-solving moves. You weigh the options, you reach a decision, you act, and the thought lets go. Overthinking doesn't do that. It circles. It feels productive. It uses the same serious, furrowed energy as problem-solving, but it never lands. You're not analysing the problem, you're rehearsing the fear. Why does the loop keep running? Because underneath, it's an attempt to get certainty, or control, or to feel ready. And it never fully gets there, so it goes round again. It's like a browser tab that won't close. The page keeps reloading, draining the power, showing you nothing new. And it isn't only in your head. Two researchers, Joss Broschott and Julian Thayer, found that when you worry or ruminate, your body stays switched on. The stress response keeps running as if the threat were real and present long after the moment has passed. That's why overthinking leaves you so tired. Your body has been braced all day for something that only happened in your mind. So before you go, let's turn all of this from an idea into something you can use and benefit from. It's small, about 10 seconds, and it works precisely because you now know the two directions. Bring to mind the loop you've been in most today, the one that kept coming back. Don't sink into it, just hold it lightly. Now, one question. Is this a what if or a why? Is your mind pointed at the future, worry, or at the past, rumination? You'll usually know within a second. Now name it, quietly or out loud. That's worry. Or, that's rumination. That's the whole move. Here's why something that small does anything at all. At UCLA, a researcher called Matthew Lieberman found that simply putting a feeling into words calms the brain's alarm. I have mentioned this in some of my other videos, as it is so useful. Naming the loop does the same to the loop. The second you label it, you've stepped half an inch outside it. You're not in the thought anymore. You're the person looking at it. And that half-inch of distance is where every other tool starts. So that's the one to keep. Next time your mind won't close, don't wrestle it. Just ask, what if or why? Name it. Then let yourself carry on. So that's what overthinking is. One loop, two directions. Worry pointed at the future, rumination pointed at the past, both dressed up as problem solving, neither one solving a thing, and your body paying for it the whole time. And here's what I want you to take from this. Worry and rumination are habits, not who you are. Learned patterns your mind fell into, which means they can be interrupted and reshaped. You are not a broken person. You're a person running a loop, and now you can see it. Next time, I'll show you 10 things about overthinking that not everybody knows, starting with why the more you think a problem through, the worse you actually get at solving it. If this felt like something you needed to hear, the next one will too. Subscribe so it finds you. I'll see you there.